Hey everyone, hope you're all having a great day today. Today we're talking about something that I feel like I talk a lot about on this channel, which is patience, and I feel like the reason why I'm always talking about it is because I have very little of it. Yes, I know it's a problem, but I feel like it's being addressed now more than it was before for the reason that I'm going to explain right now. So I am someone who, I think I've talked about this before, where I get sometimes very discouraged when I feel like the work that I'm putting in, I'm not seeing the results. In other words, walking by sight rather than faith. And I feel like I notice this affecting me more so when I'm talking about specifically like witnessing to other people or praying for other people and feeling like the people that I've been praying for so long, I just feel like I'm seeing no change. And I feel like a lot of us might be in that same boat. You know, I think a lot of us can think about people whom we've prayed for or situations that we've prayed for, and we just feel like nothing's happening. And I know that I've made videos in the past about how despite what we see, God is working behind the scenes, and I do genuinely believe that. However, I feel like there is another thing that might be at play, and it might just simply be the fact that God is having us wait for what reason we might not know. I was watching, oh my gosh, I need to go back and like tell her how appreciative I am of it, but I was watching Sister Lisa's video from For the Most High Jesus a couple of weeks ago, and she had this video out called, expect delays. And I 110% needed to hear that and see that. And I remember one thing that she said, and this is literally something that I've thought of before myself when it comes to driving, because I get so impatient when it comes to driving, and that will come into play I'll explain that a little bit more in a couple of seconds. But she had explained how, one time she was driving and she, was late for work or whatever, and noticed that, when she, she had to take a detour because of, I think, something with her tire, and then she noticed that there was an accident, and the accident would have been like when she was there. Basically, God had her delayed to prevent her from being in this accident. And I will sometimes tell this to myself, like that's something that like when she had said that, I was like, oh my gosh, I literally have told myself the same thing, because there are times in which I will find myself stuck behind people who drive super slow, or where I'm just hitting tons of yellow lights and I get so frustrated and so discouraged. I'm like, God, literally why? And speaking of this literally happened last night when I was having the same thoughts, because I was a little bit discouraged. I felt like people that I'd prayed for, I wasn't really seeing any change. There were certain situations in my life that I was praying for that I feel like nothing was really happening. And I know in those moments, we can tell ourselves as much as we want, like, trust God, he's working behind the scenes, and we absolutely should, and that definitely does give us that peace of mind. But it doesn't change the fact that sometimes we still are stubborn and find ourselves feeling a little bit discouraged sometimes. And so last night I'm driving home, I'm making all of the lights in the beginning. Like when I first started driving, and by the way, it was midnight, it was 12 o'clock at night, I was coming back from dodgeball, and I personally love driving at night. I don't know if anyone else is the same way, but I absolutely love driving at night. I feel like it's super peaceful. I feel like I'm just so much more relaxed. And one of the best things is that no one is on the road. And so again, I'm hitting all the lights. I'm like, or not hitting all the lights. I'm going through all the lights because all of them are green. I'm like, yeah, this is great. No one's on the road. Like, I can just zoom home, and hopefully I'll be home in 30 minutes. And then towards the end of the drive, like probably when I had about what would have been 10 minutes left, I just started hitting every single light. Like every single light that I got to immediately turned yellow. I was so mad because I am a bit of an impatient person. I'm driving at midnight. There's no one else on the road. I'm like, who am I stopping for? Why is this light turning yellow? No one is here. It's just me at this light right now. I was so mad, and I just kept telling myself, I was like, you know what? Maybe this is God, again, telling you expect delays because maybe there's something good. Not specifically in this moment of driving. I was like, I don't really see what the purpose could be of me hitting every single yellow light because I'm just driving. But maybe it's God trying to tell me, hey, look, expect, like Lisa said, expect delays. I'm still going to get home. We're still going to arrive at the destination, but maybe we're going to get there slower. And so when I was driving, I was like, I just kept telling myself, like, I don't see a reason for this. Like, yes, it could just simply be the fact that God is trying to further re-emphasize, look, you're still going to get where you're going, but it might just take a little bit longer to get there. And I still actually believe that. However, as I'm hitting the last yellow light, literally the last light before my house, I'm like, yep, one more for the road, one more for the road, one last yellow light. I turn the corner, I start driving up, to get to my house. Like, I'm very close now. I get into my neighborhood, And as I'm driving, I see a deer. And by the way, deer are not something that is very common where I live exactly, at least not in my neighborhood. You know, I know that deer are probably like one of the most common animal that is in like the United States, but I don't see deer really ever in my neighborhood. So I like literally stop the car in the middle of the road because it's midnight and no one's on the road. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like that's so cool. I'm just getting so happy. You know, I'm just like, oh, like that's probably why God had me hit all of those lights, because had I made all of those lights, I wouldn't have been there in that moment, you know, the right place at the right time kind of a thing. So again, I think that just further was re-emphasizing that God's timing is not our own. There are things happening that we don't see, you know, even when we're like, why is this happening? Like, what is the reason for this? You know, had I hit all of those, or had I not hit all those lights at the very end, you know, I wouldn't have been there for that really cool moment. I wouldn't have been at that right place at that right time to see that deer. And that was just something that's really cool. I know that a lot of people watching this are probably like, Jack, what the actual heck? Like, it's just a deer. Like, I see them every day. I don't. And so for me, that was a really cool thing. And so I guess what that was, again, re-emphasizing is just kind of this idea of, again, God's timing is not our own. Right place at the right time. You know, there might be other things going on in other people's lives. Maybe we're not going to be the one that kind of gives that revelation. Maybe we're just one who's going to plant the seed. You know, I can't tell you how many times when I was in college that I had eternal security preached to me, that I had, you know, free grace preached to me, and I didn't get it. I think I told you guys this, that like there was a brief time where I was like very much a legalist, you know, all about that lordship salvation, all about that repent of sins to be saved rather than trusting in the finished work of Christ. That was me for a very brief amount of time, and it took me a while to actually really understand. You know, I had a ton of people telling me about free grace, about, you know, once saved, always saved, about eternal security, and all of this amazing, all of these blessings from the Lord, truth, literally. And I wouldn't get it. I just did not get it. And I can't believe how frustrated those people must have been with me in the moment. But again, you know, God reveals things at the right time. Again, he puts us at the right place at the right time. And so I think that's just something that we need to remember and trust in when we have these moments that we do feel impatient, is not only remembering that God's working behind the scenes, but also that if we're being delayed, if we're stopping, if something's taking longer, then it's for our benefit, it's for the other person's benefit, it's for the benefit of the whole situation. Also, I just got a thing that's saying low power mode. Hopefully it's still recording. I really hope it's still recording. If it's not, I apologize, and I'm going to just be talking to a camera for the next couple of minutes, and it's anyway. So hopefully it's still recording. Hopefully you're still watching. If you are, awesome, great. Hope you guys are all doing well. I love you guys so much. I'm trying to be more present on here because yes, I do have a lot of videos that I want to make. It's just been busy with just work and school. Yes, I'm taking a class over the summer. I'm running myself into the ground because self-loathing. No, I'm kidding. But I don't know. I just want to get this degree done, but at the same time, you have to make money to get said degree, so it's meh. Anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, do not ever hesitate to leave me a comment down below or shoot me an email at my email address, which is going to be right down here. Also, if you have any prayer requests, let me know of those as well. And as always, have a lovely rest of your day, and God bless.